right, hi book lovers. I've got Connsynn with me. We met on LinkedIn. I saw her posting something about a book that she just read, and I thought it was interesting. So I just say, hey, why not just come over and share with me those 3 takeaways that we usually do when we discuss a book. So she's on the channel, woohoo. And Connsynn, why don't you just share a little bit about yourself as to your journey with books? Have you been reading books all this while?
Hi, I'm Connsynn.
Yeah.
I actually guilty to say that I'm not with books all this while because my first love is travel. So, well, the COVID pandemic hit in 2 years ago. So there's no choice. I resort back to the books.
And is the kind of books that you read? What kind of books do you read?
I read recently is all about those that perhaps science and how humans evolve and things like that, where I think it happens to everyone at some point of time in our life. We just ponder like, why are we here? What are we doing? What's next for us? And I started to read all these books.
Yeah. And how many books are you going to be reading in the future? Like you'll be taking breaks, right, in the future?
Yeah, actually I'm on sabbatical, so to spend time with friends and family, to travel, and also to read. I mean, I don't put a forceful schedule to my reading. I'll just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I finish a book in a day. Sometimes it took me 2 weeks. But
what kind of book do you? One day? How many hours is that to read a book in a day?
I mean, it just makes you feel so interesting that you wanted to finish it. Yeah. Sapien is one of the books that is like that. So I hope the origins that you just recommended can be another one.
No, I mean, Dan Brown's books are really good. They are, well, bestsellers. I have to say, very mainstream. But all of his books that I've read is pretty good, pretty good, because he blends the world of facts and the world of fiction together, so you don't know whether it's real or not. And the worst part is that everything that he mentions, every facts that he mentions, and you Google it online, is there. He builds the world based on what is really there. It's just really crazy stuff.
There's a balance between his view and what has been scientifically proven.
Yes. So you don't know whether it's real or not. Yeah. Okay, I can't wait to learn about your book. What book do you have for me on a Friday evening?
Well, it may be something that you like. Is Third Chimpanzee from Jared Diamond. It's quite an old book, actually.
Right.
The first published was in the 1990s. So why I recommend and like this book is it has a balance of the author's view, and also it has a lot of facts that supported what he thinks is right. So he will quote, and well, I'm an old school person, so actually why I get the junior version, the young people, because I couldn't get the original version. Like that, I get this version because it's simple and easy to understand. It actually has science theories in it on evolutions. So for someone who is not from biology background like me, it's quite easy to understand. Right. And actually, I wish I read it earlier when I'm younger. If yes, maybe I'm in a different profession today.
Okay, I'm interested now. Wait. This book is for juniors. Are you saying that inside has got a lot of illustrations, very little words, or
no,
kids?
No.
Words?
It's all words.
Yep.
But the concept is adapted to suit what young people would understand. So it has made the science concept easy to understand.
Right.
And the wordings is also larger, so it's easy to read. Not like a book where you have flooded with I mean, I'm on physical copy, that's why that's very important for me as well.
Yeah. And it's non-fiction, it's purely facts. In this book.
Yeah. Yes, it's facts. So,
all right. What's the first takeaway then? Go for it.
There are three. You asked me to prepare three, so I prepared three.
Yeah.
So the first thing it shares with us is about our past. So as the book says, we are the third chimpanzee. So you would, I mean, roughly guess, it says that we share the same ancestor as chimpanzee.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the fact that we are only 1.6% difference in genes compared to them.
Yeah.
So it tells us how do you calculate and when did we split from the previous ancestor and then how we come into today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it brings up to the second takeaways, which is what makes us human, what makes us different.
Yeah.
So the author has a view of the language that we speak, or we develop the system of language that makes us different. On top of the other things like we went from walking on 4 into walking on 2 feet. So we free up our hands for building up tools. But chimpanzee, they do that as well. So what really makes us different is our language that could actually help us to develop like strategy. When we need to form a strategy, communication is so important. Yeah. I mean, the rest of the animals, they may develop some sort of like messaging bit and pieces. But human is the only one who we write stories, we actually document it. It becomes such a large knowledge bank that differentiates us from them. Yeah. And this is not by inheritance like the science knowledge that you and I have today. It doesn't come from inheritance. We don't know anything when we are born. It's all by the knowledge bank that was shared. So this is the second key takeaway.
So when did we split? Did they kind of like mention when when that happened and what did we do? Did we start talking or something like that? After like
evolution doesn't just happen like suddenly like that, a mutation. It takes a series of mutations. So it is a kind of like factual. I'm looking for the page that tells when we split because there is actually a page saying that. Let me just find that out.
Yeah, probably like 20,000 BC or something like that, maybe.
Millions of years ago.
Wow!
So it doesn't happen overnight. A lot of things happen over a long period of time.
Yeah.
So like what the book told us, if let's say we started off like a day in let's say 24 hours as from the start until today, human only exists the last 6 minutes.
Come again? I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Earth started, okay, for example, if we consolidate like from the day the Earth was formed, like we believe the Big Bangs and whatnot, until today now, right? So if let's say we take the whole thing, we just squeeze it into 24 hours, we are only the last few minutes now. We just existed like maybe a few minutes ago. So that's how, I mean, evolutions happen over time, and it's a long process. It's not just like suddenly mutation and we suddenly talk and just suddenly we have the strategy. No, it takes a long time to do that.
So going back to the first takeaway, you mentioned that we are only like 1.something%, right? The book says we're only like 1.something%. And I think I remember I read it somewhere that we are also we're not very far apart from bananas or something like that. Like a fruit, we have some similar DNAs. I'm like, wow. And how do you feel about chimpanzees? Do you think we're all still chimpanzees? I mean, I have like my reservations. Like, do you think that sometimes we are all monkeys or something?
I
us.
think the concept is like we were from the same ancestor, but of course, after over the years, we mutated so much. We become so different from them already. So obviously we are different. We may share the same ancestor like millions of years ago, but we have developed to a different individual, different species already. And this is how the evolution concepts is talking about actually. And this brings out the third key takeaways as well. Extinction is a normal cycle.
Yeah.
for any species, it's
What
actually.
Yeah, I just finished the 21 lessons by Yuval, and then I just completed. I'm about to complete the Origins by Dan Brown, and then now you're sharing this book. I'm kind of like linking everything together. Like, okay, everybody's speaking the same thing. It's probably going to happen anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think you and I will see it because it takes a long time. It's not like immediately the next day everything is gone. It's not like that. But it's a cycle. Like even in the universe, the whole solar system is a cycle. We didn't start day one, the sun is like this. So, but also I think the books is saying that it's quite true. Like if we learn from the human history, the great civilizations collapsed because it has exhausted the resources needed to strive to the next level. So talking about the extinction as well, it's not saying that, we know everything is going to be extinct one day and we do nothing and wait for it to happen. That is just like saying we all will die one day, so we don't need to do anything every day. So, what I learned from this book is since we are so successfully developed ourselves into today, from the day we are the same as chimpanzee, I believe that with the knowledge banks and things that we discover every day, we are actually a better ourselves every day. As a human being, like in a team, we should be able to do great things together and have a breakthrough in these things. I mean, that book makes me feel
so we don't go extinct, huh?
Not everything will go extinct, but we may, if let's say we don't go extinct, we transform. Because we may one point just imagine like we and chimpanzee from the same ancestor. They mutate to the sense that until today they look like this today. But we, to a sense that we mutate until we look like you and me, you and I today. So perhaps one day we may mutate into another species. I do not know. I'm not a scientist, but the books really makes me think a lot. Like how do we come from, where the universe starts and where are we heading, and it's a cycle. But no matter what we know that in 10 million years of time where we are heading to, we must do something meaningful today. That's how I interpret it, that the author wanted to tell us.
What do you mean by like meaningful today? Like live today and don't worry about the future? Or
it's not about that. It's like we need to be conscious to know that what are we contributing so that we have a future. And also we shouldn't give up, because we know that maybe 99% of the time it will go that way, extinction. We shouldn't give up, I think.
There are a couple of massive shifts in the future that will probably make us extinct. One of them is global warming, the destruction of the global ecosystem. And it's not really either of us, it's basically all of us in one whole global system who are unable to coordinate each other. We're basically consuming at a singular level and not really understanding what's our impact at a global level. So we're just going on our day and everything. And I mean, the data point shows us that our collective effort and actions is actually destroying the planet. That's one thing. Then the other one that I read about was artificial intelligence, AI. I think we're all like partly robots already. I've got like my phone here, got something in my ear, I got computers everywhere. So eventually, maybe AI might just eventually become smart and conscious and take over the world and probably go extinct that way. Something like Matrix.
Yeah, but I don't know, because the first point that you mentioned is like, well, in the past, based on what the books is telling, I didn't read enough to actually be, how to say, smart enough to answer. But based on what I've learned, that in the past, civilizations is like once here collapsed, we human beings just move to another place and start it all over again or whatnot. So, well, I think a lot of human being is doing the same. Like we explore in the region, where's the next place to be sustainable and for human to stay in. And also a lot of people is making, how to say, effort to make this a livable place in the next 100,000 of years. And the second thing is AI. I know that one day, I mean, even now, that there are a lot of tasks that actually computer is doing better than us. Like mathematical calculation, at any time I'm like, it's gone case. But I believe because our intention of creation of the AI is actually to make us living in a better world, is to assist our life. So long that we have a conscious mindset of or how we develop the future of AI working together with us, I think that sort of like set a baseline for us to actually still become or still live as a human being on Earth. Like, for example, now AI is helping us to make a lot of decisions. It frees up a lot of our time that, I don't need to do research because my Siri, my Alexa will actually give me recommendations. Ultimately, it's still human who do the decision, whether I want to make the call or I let it make the call.
So where did Connsynn get this positivity from? Are you always an optimistic person?
Yes, I think it's from family. My late father, he was a stroke patient,
right?
But he believed he can recover and walk again, and he did actually. So I think here is very important. The mind actually control a lot of things, and it's where you control your ecosystem in your body and also things that surrounding you. So if you believe in it, you work around it, you get it done.
Oh well, yeah. Have a look at the book cover again. It looks so cool. Oh man, the third chimpanzee. I guess we're the ones on the left lah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the right one looks so.
Maybe on your, because my left and your left is slightly different, right? It's a different perspective. Yeah, but, I don't know about the original version, how complicated it is. I got the young version, so.
Well, thanks for sharing. I learned quite a bit about that book. I'm probably going to see whether it's on my Kindle or not now. Yeah.
It's kind of established and old book. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, I'll probably grab it and have a read so that I can match it against Yuval's books.
Well, not related, but I think you will be the person who will be able to link it up.
Yeah. All right, thanks for sharing. Really appreciate it, Connsynn.
Thank you for having me in your session. Thanks a lot.
Most welcome.